For the past year, I've been documenting one of the most expensive learning experiences of my life. I spent $35,000 and 12 months building not one but two completely different SaaS products. Both failed spectacularly. Now, before you think I'm just another vulnerable entrepreneur crying about the failure, let me give you some context. For 3 years, I ran a development shop where I watched over 10 early stage founders burn through their cash and shut down. I saw every mistake in the book. I thought I was immune. But here's the thing, knowing what failure looks like and avoiding it yourself are two completely different games. And I'm about to prove that to you in the most expensive way possible. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my complete startup autopsy. We'll cover the course platform that died from migration reality, the compliance subtitle pivot that got killed by federal funding cuts, and the 7 brutal lessons that cost me 35 grand to learn. And if you're building a SaaS right now or thinking about it, this case study might just save you from making the same expensive mistakes I did. Because every single failure I'm about to show you is completely avoidable. The migration reality check. Let me start with startup number one. After 3 years of watching clients fail, I had saved up enough money to build my own product. The idea seemed bulletproof, an AI powered course hosting platform for big creators. I'd been taking courses from marketing gurus, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals, and their platforms were terrible. Students couldn't get help, creators were overwhelmed with questions. I thought I can build something better. Despite knowing I needed to validate first, I got too excited and lost myself in building. 3 months later, I had a working product. When I finally started cold emailing course creators, one response shattered my assumptions. The idea is great, but I have 200 plus courses. I can't think about migrating unless you give me a significant revenue boost or my current platform goes out of the business. This was my first brutal lesson about the difference between nice to have and must have. Big creators might find your product interesting, but they won't switch due to migration costs, time, content transfer, student confusion, potential revenue loss. These aren't just inconveniences, they are business risks. But instead of giving up, I thought I was being smart. The single person pivot trap. After the migration reality check, I made what I thought was a smart pivot. Instead of giving up, I shifted target audiences from creators to universities with legacy systems. The feedback seemed promising. Migration cost is too much, but we need multilingual subtitles. Current platforms aren't helping us with that. Here's where I made my most expensive mistake. Based on the feedback from one university, I did complete zoom in pivot to multilingual subtitling platform. Built an MVP in 2 months, sold a $90 trial to the same university, and got a positive feedback. But when we reach out to other universities, complete silence. This is the single person pivot trap that killed my momentum and burned through another $15,000. Turns out, most universities didn't have international online enrollments, so multilingual subtitles weren't a priority. I had built an entire product around one customer's unique need, not a market need. One person's feedback, no matter how enthusiastic, doesn't validate a market. You need multiple data points from different sources before making a major product decision. But then we found out a pure gold, the compliance mirage. After the multilingual subtitles dead end, we dug deeper and discovered something that seemed like gold. Federally funded universities needed 99.9% accurate subtitles for ADA compliance, and the current AI tools and software weren't cutting that. This felt different: legal requirements, potential clients, and clear pain points. We pivoted again, this time to compliant subtitles with human in the loop accuracy. Professors hated manual subtitling and called it extra unpaid work to do. Everything looked promising until a director of online education told me our federal funding is being cancelled. We might not even have money to pay our existing software bills due to new political administrative policies. This taught me that even validated problems can disappear overnight. External factors beyond your control, political changes, funding cuts, economic shifts, can kill the entire market regardless of your product market fit. Always understand the broader ecosystem your customers operate in. But even with the validated problem, I was still missing a crucial piece of the puzzle: the decision maker versus buyer confusion. Throughout this journey, I kept getting confused signals from universities. Professors loved the idea, instructional designers were excited, but deals never closed. I was talking to users, aka professors, influencers, instructional designers, and decision makers, the directors, but I never identified who actually controlled the budget. Professors wanted immediate relief from manual work. Instructional designers wanted better tools. Directors wanted long term cost savings. The actual budget holder, often the IT department or provost office, people I never even spoke to. This is the B2B complexity trap that kills many SaaS startups. In complex organizations, the person writing the check, making the decision, and using the product are often different people with different motivations. The buyer expects long term ROI, the decision maker wants short term wins, and the user wants daily pain relief. You need to satisfy all three, and that's when everything finally clicked. These four failures taught me seven brutal lessons, which is 35K education. Number one, validate the core problem, not the adjacent features. Don't get distracted by feature requests during validation. I spent weeks building AI support features because users complained about existing platforms, but that didn't validate my core course hosting platform. Actionable tip: write down your core problem in one sentence. Every validation conversation should focus on confirming or disapproving that single problem statement. Number two, migration costs or invisible deal killers. Established users with significant content won't switch for incremental improvements. Calculate the true cost of migration: time, risk, training, potential downtime, and make sure your value proposition is 10x better, not just 10% better. Actionable tip: before targeting existing users, list every step they need to take to switch to your product. If it's more than three major steps, you need 10x better solution. Number three, one customer's feedback doesn't validate a market. I built an entire multilingual subtitles product based on one university's request. That's not validation, that's custom development. You need multiple independent data points from different sources. Actionable tip: follow the rule of 10. Get the same feedback from at least 10 different potential customers or 5 before making major product decisions. Lesson number 4: understand external dependencies and risks. Political changes, funding cuts, regulatory shifts can kill entire markets overnight. Always understand the broader ecosystems your customers operate in. Actionable tip: research your target markets, funding sources, regulatory environments, and economic dependencies. Set up Google alerts for relevant policy changes. Lesson number 5: talk to users continuously, not just at the beginning. I made the mistake of validating once and then building for months. Markets change, priorities shift, budgets get cut. Maintain regular contact with your target users throughout the development process. Here's the actionable tip: schedule monthly check ins with 5 to 10 potential customers throughout your development cycle. Ask the same core questions each time to track the changes. That brings me to my next point. Don't build a startup in a space you have no idea about, because the problem discovery and audience targeting phase will be very hard and will take a very long time. Here's the lesson number 6: map the entire decision making ecosystem. Even when there are multiple stakeholders like professors, instructional designers, and directors, the person writing the check might be completely different from the person making the purchase decision. Each has different interests. Buyers expect long term ROI, decision makers want short term benefits, users want daily pain relief. So, here's the action tip. For every potential customer, create a simple chart. Who uses it, who decides, who pays, interview all three groups separately. Lesson number 7. Don't build until you have validated commitment. Don't start building an MVP until you have clear validated commitment from targeted users in terms of time, money, or referrals, not just compliments. This is interesting, or I would use this means nothing. You need to figure out the exact problem and market segment before writing a single line of code. Even starting validation and MVP development in parallel is a huge mistake because development is often faster than the problem discovery and validation phase. Building a product is easy, but building the right one is hard. So, validate first, then build. Actionable tip: create a commitment ladder. Complement to interest, to willingness to test, to willingness to pay, to actual payment. Don't start building until you have at least 5 people at the willingness to pay level. So there you have it. 1 year, 2 startups, $35,000, and 7 lessons that I could have learned for free if I just listened to my own advice. The irony isn't lost on me. I spent 3 years watching other founders make these exact mistakes, then made them all myself. Turns out, knowing about failures and avoiding failure are completely different skills. Speaking of learning from failure, after burning through all this cash, I realized I needed a systematic approach to validation that I could actually follow, not just preach about. So, I documented every framework, template, and process that could have saved me from these mistakes. I call it the lean validation blueprint. Basically, the battle tested system I wish I had before spending $35,000 learning these lessons the hard way. If you are building something right now and want to avoid the expensive education I just gave myself, I've put together all the frameworks that could have saved me months of time and thousands of dollars. It is designed to help you validate properly before you build, not after. I'll drop the link in the description if you want to check it out. But regardless of whether you grab that or not, I'm curious, which of these 7 lessons hit closest to home for you? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this breakdown helpful, subscribe because I'll be sharing more expensive lessons as I figure out what to build next. Because apparently, I'm not done building yet. Cheers.